DuckTalks is part of Res TV's network of podcasts. Check out res.tv for other great podcasts.
Scrooge, the returning champion, approaching the first hole.
He's probably worried Glomgold will use his one free tackle before the speed round in the third quarter.
What do you think is happening here?
One heck of a game!
It's the week of Thursday, May 24th, and you're listening to episode 24 of DuckTalks. Hey there, and welcome to DuckTalks. This is the podcast where we talk about all things DuckTales and Disney Afternoon. I'm one of your hosts, and my name's Mitch, and joining me again this week, as normal, is my good buddy, Pirate Steven.
Ahoy there. Ready to talk some ducks. Let's do this. Well, wait, we're not alone, right? We got another player in this game.
Yeah, joining us again this week is Josh. How's it going, Josh?
Good. How's it going?
Pretty good.
I don't know why I asked every time you guys see.
You know, it's funny we do this like we've not already been talking all day. For the audience, right?
Yeah, for the audience.
Have you guys had a good week with a new DuckTales episode?
Yeah, I loved it. It was very entertaining, and it's great to have these new episodes to watch and watch and watch again.
I think it's always a good week when there's a new DuckTales episode.
It's much better than the alternative, because that 5-month hiatus was torture, especially trying to do a podcast about a show that wasn't on TV.
Yeah, we talked a lot of Duck Merchant during those months.
And then as we started into May, we ended up having a huge week of merchandise for Duck Week as well. So, man, we're still trying to catch up from all that news that came out.
Stop. We're going to be buried in merch. Duck merch.
That's a good thing, though.
Yeah. If your wallet can handle it.
Have you spent any more money on Duck merch?
I'm about tapped out on Duck merch funds at the moment.
Did you have to sign an agreement?
There's a lot of cool stuff out there. I mean, the Sun Stashes, which we've shown, we did a great unboxing videos of those. Everybody should go get them. And the Funko plush are coming out this month. So there's a whole lot of cool stuff. And I mean, there's new books coming. So yeah, save your money, get what you can, give nothing back.
I can't wait for Pirate's agreement with his wife on how much Duck merch he can spend per month.
We have different Duck merch accounts for the money, so
it's a secret.
Yeah, that's unknown. And she doesn't listen to the show, so she'll. I mean, she'll see the stuff around the house, of course, but.
Oh, that's nice. Someone sent you that?
Yeah, it's like, oh, look at they sent me this to check it out. She loved the Sun Stashes though. She wants to wear them. I'm like, you can wear them when I'm not wearing them.
Well, you know, you got to do a video of those that looked like a lot of fun. I waited to open the box that I got until after your video, just because I wanted to enjoy it with you, to see what we got. And so, but I didn't show the girls the video until after we opened our box. And they were excited. It was really nice of them. The girls are excited about them. We're going to take them with us on our trip to Walt Disney World. And like you said, we've got some things planned. We're going to do some Sundays with Sun Stashes and a few other things we got going on. As soon as I get my trip out of the way, maybe, you know, that darn Walt Disney World trip, once it's out of the way, we'll be able to get back into some Duck Talks. Not a lot of news this week. A few things to talk about. Before we do, let's take a look at an email. We're kind of pressed for time this week, and we appreciate all the emails that we've received, but we're just going to take a look at one this week. A lot of the emails that we got were from people who have been emailing us just about every week since we put out the email address. We do appreciate those emails. We like getting your feedback. You know, it furthers our conversation. But let's take a look at this email. This is from Holden Pence. Holden also follows us on Twitter, so we have some conversations there. And he says, Dear Mitch, Josh, and Steve, do you think Scrooge will wear his DuckTales 2017 outfit at the Disney theme parks in Eurasia? Your listener, Holden Pence.
Yeah, I think the red Scrooge McDuck look for the Parks character is the new Scrooge McDuck look. So I think that whenever he makes an appearance from now for a while will be that red outfit, if not indefinitely.
So the one out in Florida right now that's at the Donald's special event, that one has the red suit, right?
Yeah, it actually debuts this Friday, but it is the red one for sure.
Now the red suit has also made an appearance at Disneyland, though, hasn't it?
Yeah, at Disneyland, the one that threw out the first pitch of that Cubs game versus the Cardinals was red suit, and the one that's been at the Disney television animation studio was red suit. So we haven't seen the blue one in a while now.
I got to keep an eye out for him at Disneyland. I don't think I've seen him yet.
Was he a little more common at Disneyland? I know from people that I've spoken with, he didn't show up a lot at Disney World.
No, I hardly ever see him other than maybe in like a parade. I think the most likely to see them would be maybe Fantasmic, where at the end they have a Steamboat Willie. Well, it's not really Steamboat Willie, but it's the ship that's supposed to be Steamboat Willie goes by, and there's a bunch of characters like waving at everybody. And a lot of times it's a lot of random characters that they throw in on there. And I think that's probably the only chance I've ever seen him. I don't think I've seen him out and about, like meeting people.
He'd fit in pretty well in Toontown, though.
Well, yeah, absolutely, especially by Gadget's Go Coaster. I would have thought they would have had some characters out by there, but I only thing that currently for meet and greet out there is Mickey. He has got his house, so you can go in and meet Mickey Mouse. There's a house for Minnie, and I think I think remember who else is normally out there in the back there, but it'd be a great time now to start bringing out the Disney Afternoon characters now that it's kind of coming back onto TV. And I would love to go back there and meet even Huey, Dewey, and Louie. It'd be great to go out and meet.
Yeah, with the Disney Channel's new animation shows coming up, there's a lot of the feeling of a new Disney afternoon. So it'll be interesting to see how much of that makes it into the parks with these new shows and new characters coming up. It'll be really exciting to see what happens.
Yeah, I think Big Hero 6 is a part of that summer lineup. So obviously Big Hero 6 is in the parks as well. So that at least gives it some more presence.
Yeah, when we went to Walt Disney World in 2015, we missed a chance for Baymax because the line was so long. And the girls still bring that up, so it'd be cool to see them.
Baymax is actually at Epcot, and his line isn't that long, so I definitely check it out when you're here next week.
That sounds great.
Is it the Baymax without the suit?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was then too. So we met every Disney princess, like literally every Disney princess that was there, except Mulan. And it's the one they bring up all the time. So she's also at Epcot, from what I understand. That will be one of our first stops.
Yeah. Does Disney World have at the app like Disneyland does, where it tells what characters are where and what time?
Yes. And it's amazing.
Okay. Yeah, that's really amazing. I just recently discovered it for Disneyland. And I like to see who's going to be out on certain days and where they're at. It actually helps a lot if you're wanting to meet and greet some of these characters.
You should be able to catch Red Scrooge. We're imagining it's going to start showing up all over. Haven't heard anything specific for Eurasia, but I'm with Pirate. I think that's the new normal for Scrooge McDuck. Holden, we appreciate your email, and everyone else who sent us an email. Sorry that times kept us from reading all of them, but continue to send those. We enjoy the feedback, and you can send that to ducktalkspod@gmail.com. Like I said at the top of the show, not a lot of news this week. There was one thing today, actually, that kind of broke. Frank Angonas, the co-producer of the show, retweeted that a company called Geocaching is doing a DuckTales themed treasure hunt, or a trackable hunt is what they call it. And so I had some friends that used to do this, and from what I understand, this company uses trackable items, or maybe even just coordinates, for people to use their GPS, I'm guessing on your phone, to go on an adventure and to find these items. So people can go on their website and purchase a trackable, and then they can place that trackable someplace for other people to go. You know, you put it in scenic places and places of interest. They are releasing 5,000 Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Webby trackables. It says, help the kids embark on a globe-trotting adventure and treasure hunt by moving them through geocache to geocache. And then they want you, of course, to share it on social media. So I haven't been able to find a lot of information on what exactly is going on here. It does look like there's going to be 4 individual trackables with a limited run of like 5,000. They're giving them away at random. So you have to have an account with geocaching in order to do it, and then they'll send you the trackable, and I guess you put it in a place that you want people to go. That's as much information as I have. If any of our listeners knows any more, definitely let us know. Sounds kind of cool, though.
Yeah, I'm looking at the website right now, and it looks like you can search by different, it has like a Huey, has a Dewey, and a Louie, and a Webby search. And then there's like an all search. So it looks like you can specifically look for, if you're looking for Huey or you're looking for Dewey, you can specifically look for those characters. I don't know what the items are, but it's kind of neat that it shows like a whole global view. But there's nothing showing yet that is available. I don't think the promotion has started yet, but it looks like it's kind of an interesting little system that they have there. I've never even heard of this before.
Yeah, they just tweeted it 10 hours ago. And I'm sure they've, obviously not had time to send any out or get any to anybody that they have. But you have to be a member to do it. And from what I saw on their website, like, you can go and look at purchasing trackables. They're like coins. So it's just a small item to hide for other people to find. I don't know if anybody decides to sign up and gets one, let us know. Send us some pictures. We'd like to see these. Now it's time for Duck merch.
We got Duck merch. Woo-hoo.
Not a lot going on that we have seen. Of course, if you come across anything, always let us know and we'll share it with other DuckTales fans. But Pirate came across the DuckTales Adventures Guide. Explorer skills and outdoor activities for daring kids is back up on Amazon's website. That was scheduled to come out it's October 2nd, and we had talked about this before. This item actually had kind of a spoiler for season 2 and said that season 2 was going to begin in October of 2018. Not long after we were talking about it, it got pulled. And a few people were kind of worried that maybe this item was canceled or something, but it is back up, so it's going to be available. And I think we had seen images of it a few weeks ago, so we knew that it was coming back. We just didn't know when it would be back on Amazon. We'll include a link in our notes, so you can follow our notes to Amazon, and we'll tweet this out as well to kind of get the word out. My pre-order was canceled for it. I had pre-ordered it initially when we first found it. This looks like a lot of fun, though. The adventure guide. It talks about making, different items and going on different things for kids to go on adventures. I mean, what's not fun about that? That's all the news we have for this week and all the Duck merch. So let's go ahead and let's talk about this episode that aired this past Friday. Now, this is your spoiler warning. If you've not seen the episode, it's time to pause this podcast and come back after you have watched it. So the past few weeks, ever since the show has come back, we've been doing 30-second recaps of the episodes. We've been selecting who would do these at random. So I have the random generator up on my Mac computer. So I've got 1 through 3. Josh, why don't you go ahead and pick what number?
I'm going to go with 3 again.
Pirate?
I'll go with 2.
And it's 2.
Oh!
No way. All right. Okay, Scrooge and Glomgold go to Moorshire with the family, and they are playing golf. Glomgold's got a tiger as a caddy. He fires that caddy, hires Louis. Louis hates golf, but he likes taking Glomgold's money. Glomgold is not good at golf at all. They end up going to play a druid game of golf, which Dewey has to win for Scrooge. Baloney trampoline.
I'm going to have to start getting you to call out that you're done.
I was done.
Yeah, it was about 25 seconds, so that was really good.
You have 5 seconds left.
I left a little bit out, but you know what?
Yeah, so...
Yeah, it was a great episode. This is one of 2 of the previous 2 episodes that aired somewhere else earlier during the hiatus. So some of the audience might have seen these episodes, but it's good to see them air officially. And I know I've watched the heck out of this show. I've seen it at least somewhere between 5 and 10 times already. I think it's funny. I know Frank said that they were required or asked to do a sports episode, and they picked golf. And
That's great.
Scotland is famous for golf, so it was good that they were able to incorporate this into an episode. And I love the kid. They have Kelpies in there. I'm not going to tell you about them too much because I left it out of my 30-second review.
Well, that's exactly why we should talk about it.
Sure. Well, sure. So, go ahead. No, I was joking. So, Kelpies are Scottish lore of shape-shifting demons that try to lure people into a sense of security, and then they would, I guess, one of their tricks was to bring them in the water and drown them. So that's what a Kelpie was. And in this episode, they had 2 horses, which is funny because they kind of look like My Little Pony horses, voiced by 2 very famous voice actresses that voice My Little Pony characters.
Tara Strong and Andrea Libman.
Yeah, and they do a great job, and they're very funny. The horses, because the horses want you to ride them, and then they bring you into the water. And I thought that was cool. I'd never really heard of Kelpies until then, but I've done a lot of research on it apparently, and that's my Kelpie story. I'm sticking to it.
Well, as we're still getting used to reviewing these episodes, because, it's not something we've done a lot of on this podcast, I forgot to mention that the title of this episode was The Missing Links of Moorshire. But it was a great episode. It was a lot of fun. There's some very hilarious moments, many of them from the Kelpies, because they're a running gag throughout the episode. A lot of really dark themes in this episode. I think it's the first time I really felt like anybody was in danger on this show. As far as the episode goes, it was written by Ben Joseph, and it was directed by Matthew Humphreys. I saw on Twitter that Ben Joseph said that this was the first time he got to work on the show, and he was really impressed that they let him run with this idea. Because the episode, when you really think about it, it's very different from other episodes of the show. It's got those basic elements, and the characters are spot on. The characterizations are great. And Launchpad's humor is awesome as always. But some of my favorite lines are going to come from this episode. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I was telling Pirate, I wouldn't say it's on the top of my list of favorites, but it is one of the funniest episodes so far, I think.
I think it had a.
We love Launchpad episodes, so this is our third Launchpad episode in a row. I hate to spoil it for next week, but Launchpad is not in that episode for the last of the month. You'll get to meet new characters, which is always fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went through a Launchpad lag period, and I'm glad he's back because he's hilarious.
I keep meaning
this episode.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
This episode had a lot of great Glomgold humor in it too. I thought that it really gave him a chance to shine in it more than like the past. He was in the show and the episodes, but it was like little bits and pieces throughout the episode. And in this one, we kind of had him the entire episode. We got to see how much he fails at when he's trying to beat Scrooge McDuck, and I just had a laugh at every single time something went wrong with him, whether it was like flipping a two-headed coin and he chose the wrong side of the coin, and then he gets so mad that he tries to throw it in the sea, and it's kind of like he keeps missing because he's not throwing it hard enough. Or
it's one of the funniest jokes of the series so far.
Yeah, that was hilarious. It was just like every single thing he tried to do, whether it was like when he was hitting the golf club, he would, like the ball was almost like electrocuted. He just kept hitting it because he was like, I'm gonna get it past Scrooge. It's like, and he just like keeps hitting and like not learning from his mistakes. So this is hilarious to see him throughout that whole. I
love Glomgold's and Scrooge's. I was gonna say friendship in this, but compared to what they were bitter rivals in the original DuckTales, I like the way they are in this one, where they're rivals. But I mean, Scrooge is, even though Scrooge won the coin toss, he was going to give it to Glomgold, and it seems like they're more buddy than the previous ones where they're just fighting all the time.
Although Glomgold's still plotting on how to kill him.
Sure.
But yeah, I really like their frenemies relationship. We've seen it a few times. The Mark Beeks episode was the first time we really got a glimpse at how much time they spend together. I kind of think it's kind of like Scrooge likes to do all these things, and Glomgold finds out where he's going to be and makes sure he's there. But Scrooge puts up with him pretty well, and I did like the fact that he gave him the coin toss, and then Glomgold starts gloating that he won.
Yeah.
and then Launchpad, one of my favorite lines of this episode, was right after that, and he says, I think I wrote it down here, but I'm going to insert it into the episode. Wow, what a game. See you next time, everybody. After the coin toss. And Webby keeps making comments about sports. This is my first sports. And I think that's hilarious that they had to get a sports episode in, and this is the episode they chose.
Yeah, I think that was good. Golf was good for them. I would still love to see other sports. I mean, baseballs. I think the Huey, Dewey, and Louie played baseball in the classic DuckTales, and I could see them playing it. I mean, Louie wouldn't play, but I could see Huey and Dewey playing.
I want to see another, we had it in the Mark Beeks episode. I want to see another competitive storyline between Huey and Dewey. I think that made for a really great story and a lot of laughs.
Mm-hmm. We kind of got Huey and Louie kind of competing against each other in the episode where they went to, I'm blanking out on the name, where they got Zeus and Storkles. They kind of had to compete to win the
Spear of Selene.
Yeah, Spear of Selene, the name of the episode.
The other thing I liked about this one was so Launchpad and Dewey had their own friendship kind of episode last week, and now you see Huey hanging out with Launchpad, and it's kind of fun watching the different nephews them playing off their lines off of Launchpad. I hope we get a Louie and Launchpad episode. I think that'd be fun.
I really like the setup for why Huey and Launchpad are together, because it brings back to the Woodchucks. and Huey's trying to earn a Junior Woodchuck badge for, was it sports commentary? And then the requirement is that he have a co-commentator. So he's got Launchpad, and Launchpad's using this very dry golf voice, golf announcer voice, and keeps, he has the line that's, I don't know, it might be the funniest line in all of DuckTales so far, where he says,
I like talking this way because it makes everything sound important. Baloney, trampoline.
Man, this show just had me rolling this week. Every week, always does, especially when Launchpad's in it. He's my favorite. Y'all know that, right?
Nah.
I think every week we say another character is our favorite, so I'll give it to you this week.
Yeah. Well, next week, I'm sure it'll be, Dewey.
Right.
But there's a lot of running gags in this episode, and there's also a really good story as far as learning, seeing Scrooge learn. I don't guess we learned more about Scrooge. We did kind of, actually. We learned a little bit about their history in that the McDucks apparently created golf, and it was what was it? Black Donald invented golf, and then because of the temper tantrums that he threw, King James banned it in Scotland. Mm-hmm. Which set up the whole storyline, because the Druid golf course was a mystical golf course that was created for them to be able to hide and play golf or something like that. At least that's what the murder ponies allowed everybody to believe.
So is Donald Duck named after Black Donald Duck?
So there's and I don't know how this was, whether this was released officially or if it was like some kind of, I don't know, old school leak. But when Don Rosa wrote The Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck, one of the stories that was involved in that epic tale was about Black Donald. And it's something, I mean, like, he created the comic. He never finished it. Like, it's a rough comic, and you can find it online if you search for it. But I think that's supposed to be part of the tale, that Donald was in fact named after that character.
It's interesting.
Or to him, I guess it was relative, but so that's neat. I mean, you can find that. It's that comic's out there. We may do a blog about it. Well, that's going to do it for us this week on this episode. Another great episode. Looking forward to the next one, and looking forward to coming back and talking with you guys about DuckTales. This week, if anyone wants to talk with us about this episode, you can always reach us online. We have our blog, so you can comment there. It's DuckTalks.com. You can also find us on Twitter at DuckTalks, and we have the Discord chat at res.tv. There is a DuckTalks channel there. And let's see, we've also got our individual Twitters. You can find me at Infinirama616.
I'm at the Pirate Steven. This is Josh, by the way.
And I'm at CCRunner524.
Well, I think that's going to do it for us. So until next time.
See ya.
See ya.
DuckTalks is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Any sounds, music, or audio clips played on this podcast are the property of their copyright holder.